Hi, in this tutorial we will be looking at how to work with place cards. So let's begin. To the right you'll notice the familiar editing pane, as usual your font formatting and your navigation, or zooming and panning as I say, and the editing pane collapsible like usual. This helps you get a better view. And to the left you'll notice the guest list. This is where the majority of your work will be taking place. So let's add a guest. We'll say Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and let's add two more, the Garner family, and let's say Mr. John Doe. Alright, the first thing you'll notice is once you click on each guest, their name appears on the place card. By clicking on the name, you'll notice that there's a red border. So just like the table numbers, you cannot delete this field. Also, any formatting has to be done to the entire text. So we recommend that you always select everything in the text box to do any formatting. So in this case we'll say you highlight everything here. Oh, I missed the T. There we go. And if we want to bold it, we would simply bold it. This way every time you cycle through, everybody gets bolded. So if you want to highlight just one part of the name, that's not possible, since that field will always change based on each guest. So let's just drag that a bit more into the middle. There we go. And another thing you'll see is there's a checkbox that says specify table seating per guest. Now the majority of clients will not know where the guests will sit up until the very end. There are some that do know, and if you really do know where the seating is for each person, go ahead and checkbox, and you'll notice that the table numbers appear. So for example, if you know that Mr. and Mrs. Smith are sitting at table 5, we write 5. Garner family, we can say table 3, and Mr. John Doe, table 12. And let's fix the J. Alright, so as you'll notice, every time you click on each guest, the table number is also there. This as well, if you click on it, it's also a red border. You cannot delete this field. So you drag it here, if you're using the table numbers. And I'll show you later on what to do if you don't know the table numbers. So let's highlight this. The message pops up like usual, warning you that it's the full text that gets formatted. Let's increase the size, 24, maybe 28, and let's make it white. Alright. So now we have the family name here and the guest and the table number. Now one thing is that a little trick is that if you put 0 for the table number, it'll go blank. Just to show you, so if you put 0 on John Doe and we go to Garner family, come back, it's gone. So for that, so you are able to mix up some that you do know and some that you don't know if you need to do that. So the option is there. There's a little note at the bottom that tells you about that. And so as usual, you can also remove a guest here. And the other thing I want to show you is for clients that don't know where the guests will be sitting or what table exactly, the majority of them put a static text with an underline right after. So let's show you how to do that. So let's say we add another field here. Let's bring it up here for a second. We'll say table and 3 underscores. So what we'll do is we'll just lift the name a little. We'll take this one and drag it right underneath. And also make that a bit smaller. There we go. There we go. Space that out. Okay. So what's going to happen is as you cycle through the guests, the red bordered text is going to change, but this one is static, so it's going to stay there for every guest. Let me show you. And let's preview it. So that shows you both options. So if you know where they're sitting, you can go ahead and put a number. If you don't know where they're sitting, you can always put a little table text field with an underline, and you can fill that in whenever you want. Let's stop that. And remember, save often, because there is going to be a lot of guests on your list, and don't forget to preview every time. That shows you the previewing. And that is it. All there is left is removing guests. You don't have to worry about deleting them by accident. You always get a pop-up. And that does it for the tutorial.